We live in a very real-time world. I mean, just example that everyone can relate to. I'm sure people have ordered a DoorDash or taken a ride share, a vehicle or transportation. You want to know where your car is or where your meal is now, not where it was 45 minutes ago or where it will be later on. So that real-time insight is absolutely key to the way we live our lives today. The way we entertain ourselves, the way we listen to music, the way we order even groceries right now. It's a real-time world, it's a service economy where everything is on all the time.
Things in the AI landscape are changing so fast that we gotta keep up. We do a couple of things. The first thing that we do is customer-led innovation. We talk to a broad set of customers and try to understand the problem that they are solving. And often customers give us the solution, and our job is to go and find what is the best way to solve that problem. So we identify the problem, we solve it. Singlestore, we apply a couple of dimensions to this. Singlestore is for speed. That's been our DNA. So one of the questions we ask ourselves is how can we make things faster? If you're searching for vectors, how can that be faster? How can that be faster at scale? The second question we ask ourselves is how can we make it easier for customers? In the world of AI, you have to connect to so many different tool chains. And to that end, we built something called notebooks in Singlestore, which allow customers to access all of those tool chains from within the database, offering them an easy and delightful experience.
So if you think about an exact keyword search, a lot of it is what has been around already. So for example, I have a very large document, and the document could be about dog. And if I do a search and I say, is there a dog in this document? It's going to literally look for the exact keyword dog. But if I now ask a question, is there an animal or is there something about the animal in this document? Then your exact keyword doesn't match because animal is not equal to dog with the exact keyword. That's a classic lexical search. That's where today semantic search has become so popular because you want to be able to do a meaningful or a meaning-based, semantic-based search against your corpus of data but the reality is it's not just semantic, it's not just vectors. You also need to combine and mix and match with your other kinds of data as well. And that's where the hybrid search within Singlestore is being used a lot by our customers.
If I was to put it in one sentence, what Singlestore allows our customers to do, it allows them to transact with high fidelity and analyze and ultimately be able to contextualize data without leaving our development environment.
Singlestore works on-prem and in the cloud. But we take specific advantages of things in the cloud. There are two things that are very special about the cloud. One is you rent hardware, you don't buy hardware. So Singlestore is built in a manner that it can scale up and scale down based on your needs. So if a customer has a lot of traffic during the day, you can scale up the cluster, get a lot of high performance. But if you have no activity during the night, you can scale down the cluster. You could do this on a per hour basis if you wanted. And the value, there are two values here. One is, of course, the customer saves a lot of money, but it's also a green way of looking at things, right? You don't want to burn electricity when you're not needed, whether it costs you any money or not. So it saves them money and it's good for the environment. The second one is around security. When people deploy software, they're deploying it on-prem. They own the data center, they have security around the data center. But a cloud is a multi-tenant environment where customers' data is stored alongside other people's data. And we invest a lot around native security, cloud native security in Singlestore. So we have things like customer managed encryption keys, private links, various techniques that the cloud offers to secure the customer's data so that they can have that peace of mind that that data only belongs to them and nobody else.
The way I describe Singlestore to folks who know nothing about us is at a super high level, we take all different kinds of data and we elevate it to information, we elevate it to knowledge by bringing a point-in-time data into real time. And when you do that, then you are able to not only read, write, reason, but you are also able to transact as well as contextualize that data. So if you look at Singlestore, yes, of course, it's a classic database. We have been around for a while, but we specialize in bringing different kinds of data into one single place and then be able to contextualize as well as be able to reason, transact, and contextualize in a few milliseconds.
The other example that's very, very close to my heart, actually I'll give two. One is this organization called Thorn, founded by one of our actually initial investors, Ashton Kutcher, which essentially prevents sexual exploitation of children on the web. And also very large banks which do their trading, algo trading, risk management, anti-money laundering. Those are some of the examples that we have. Also equipment maintenance. So large cell towers, assessing the net value at risk when the station goes down and what's the best time to get the station repaired so that the impact on revenue is minimum. Again, great example of using real-time data for competitive differentiation.
One of the very interesting customers that we serve is called Thorn. And what Thorn does is they scrape the internet and find pictures of kids who are being, slave traded. And as soon as the picture goes up, they're able to get that in Singlestore and be able to detect that something is wrong and do something about it. That's elevating human capability for me. You don't want to do this 1 day, 1 month late. It's going to be too late for that kid and maybe they can never be saved. So doing things in real time really helps, this particular customer.
I think in terms of large language models or AI with large language models, we feel there's been a tremendous amount of progress just in the last few weeks. And if you look at how the large language models have been trained, it's on a set of data, but that set of data is still in the past. So in order to really do something significant with your data, you need to contextualize that to the LLMs. You need to feed a very highly curated data into the LLM, and it has to be fresh. And the reality is that all of that data is in different format. And this is where Singlestore really shines or comes in, because if you are an enterprise and you have unstructured data, you have structured data, and you want to be able to go and do a hybrid search, both in terms of either an exact keyword match or even a semantic search and a combination, and you want to get that highly curated data in a few milliseconds because you want to feed it to the LLM, then that's what Singlestore is best suited for.
Performance is very, very critical to Singlestore. So this is, again, it forms part of our core functionality. We do a couple of different things. One is we make sure that we have a cost-based optimizer. So when a query comes in, the system is intelligent enough to understand what operations to run first and second. Right? That's built into Singlestore. Again, the customer doesn't need to worry about that. Second thing that we do is we convert all of our queries into machine code. So they operate really, really fast. A combination of this, along with being distributed, being able to run queries on multiple different machines and harness the power of all of those machines together, allows us to optimize our queries.
One of the reasons why we feel Singlestore is so disruptive in this data market is that there isn't another platform on God's green earth where you can transact, analyze, and contextualize data in the same platform without moving data with millisecond response times. I think the data in the world has the power to do a lot of good. And I'm personally an eternal optimist, so I do believe that data is going to be used by all of us for a lot of good. And we put our minds to it. The very, very few who would want to use it negatively, I think we can prevail. The good will prevail.